The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Krell's reptilian eyes swept across the assembly. His scales shimmered with disdain as he addressed the human delegation. "Humans," he hissed, his translator rendering his words in cold, mechanical tones, "are the weakest species to ever petition for membership. Your bones are fragile, your skin tears like paper, and your physical capabilities are laughable." Emma stood at the podium, her jaw clenched. Beside her, Jack placed a steadying hand on her shoulder, but she shook it off. She had endured 3 months of this condescension, 3 months of watching the Council dismiss humanity's achievements because humans didn't have armored hides or crushing mandibles. "With respect, Ambassador," Emma said, her voice leveled despite the rage burning in her chest, "you're measuring strength by the wrong metrics." Krell's laughter rumbled like falling rocks. "Then enlighten us, human. Show us this strength we've somehow missed." "Give me a test," Emma said. "Any test of your choosing." The chamber erupted in chittering, growling, and various alien expressions of amusement. Jack grabbed her arm. "Emma, what are you doing?" he whispered urgently. "Trusting myself," she replied. Krell's tongue flicked out, tasting the air. "Very well. On my homeworld of Draxus Prime, there is a traditional trial. 3 Draxian cubs, each weighing approximately 90 kilograms, must be carried simultaneously up the Ridge of Ancestors, a vertical climb of 400 meters. No Draxian attempts this until they reach full maturity at age 30 of their years. Most fail even then." Emma did the mental math. 3 cubs meant 270 kilograms, nearly 600 pounds, carried straight up a 400-meter cliff. She weighed only 68 kilograms herself. "I accept," she said to Jack's eyes widened. "Emma, that's insane." "That's possible," she interrupted. "It's possible, Jack. That's all that matters." 1 week later, Emma stood at the base of the Ridge of Ancestors, staring up at the sheer rock face that disappeared into Draxus Prime's violet sky. The gravity here was 1.3 times Earth standard. Every movement felt like wearing a weighted vest. The 3 Draxian cubs squirmed in their harness, hissing and chirping. They were adorable in a reptilian way, with oversized eyes and tiny scales that hadn't yet hardened. But together, they were a crushing weight that made her knees buckle when the handlers first loaded them onto her back. Jack stood nearby with the human support team, his face pale with worry. The Galactic Council had sent observers, including Krell himself, who watched with barely concealed anticipation of her failure. Emma adjusted the harness one final time, distributing the weight across her shoulders and hips. She'd spent the week training, studying human mountain climbers, reading about Sherpas who carried impossible loads up Everest, learning about the human body's incredible ability to adapt when pushed beyond normal limits. "Humans are weak," Krell had said, but he didn't understand human weakness the way Emma did. Human bones broke easily, so they healed stronger. Human skin tore, so it formed calluses. Human muscles fatigued, so they built endurance. Weakness wasn't the end state for humans. It was the starting point. Emma reached for the first handhold. The climb was agony. Every meter upward felt like a victory against gravity, against the crushing weight on her back, against the screaming protests of her muscles. The cubs squirmed and shifted, throwing off her balance. Twice in the first 50 meters, she nearly fell, saved only by the safety line that would have meant automatic disqualification if it actually caught her weight. But Emma kept climbing to 100 meters. Her fingers were bleeding. At 150 meters, her shoulders felt like they were separating from her body. At 200 meters, Jack's voice crackled through her earpiece. "Emma, you can stop. You've proven your point. No one expected you to get this far." She didn't waste breath answering to at 250 meters. She entered what marathon runners called the wall, that place where the body has exhausted its easy energy and begins burning everything else. Her vision tunneled. Her hands moved on autopilot, finding holds she couldn't consciously see. This was what Krell didn't understand about humans. They weren't strong because they never felt pain or exhaustion. They were strong because they felt all of it and climbed anyway to at 300 meters. One of the cubs bit her shoulder through the harness. The pain barely registered against everything else. At 350 meters, she heard Krell's voice from below, filtered through translator and disbelief. Impossible. No species her size could. Emma wanted to laugh, but she needed the oxygen for climbing the T-375 meters. Her left hand slipped. For one terrible moment, she hung by 3 points of contact, the cub's weight trying to peel her from the rock face. Her right hand found a new hold. She pulled herself up to T-390 meters. She could see the top of the ridge, T-395 meters. Jack was crying. She could hear it in his breathing over the earpiece, T-400 meters. Emma's hand slapped over the edge of the ridge of ancestors. With a final, screaming effort that pulled strength from somewhere beyond her physical body, from pride, from stubbornness, from the collective will of every human who had ever been underestimated, she hauled herself and 3 Draxian cubs over the top. She collapsed on solid ground, the cubs tumbling free of their harness, chirping happily as they scampered away. Emma lay on her back, staring at Draxus Prime's violet sky, every muscle in her body trembling. She'd done it. She'd actually done it. That Jack's face appeared above her, tears streaming down his cheeks. "You magnificent, crazy, beautiful maniac," he said. Behind him, Ambassador Krell climbed over the ridge. He'd taken a conventional path and stared at Emma with something that might have been respect in his reptilian eyes. "How?" he asked simply. Emma managed a weak smile. "You thought strength was about not being weak," she said. "But humans? We're strong because we're weak. Every limitation is just another thing to overcome. That's what you'll never understand about us." She closed her eyes, letting exhaustion finally claim her. "We don't climb mountains despite our weakness," she whispered. "We climb them because of it." The next day, the Galactic Council voted unanimously to accept humanity's petition for membership. Ambassador Krell cast the deciding vote.